All right, hey guys, Jason here. We're up here, Jimmy Britt. This is in Statesboro, Georgia. And today what we're talking about is my thoughts for the best HD truck 2025. And it's between two. It's very tight. Actually, it's between all three because this is a very hard one. The full-size one, I just got done making that video. We actually talked about this particular one, trying to block that glare for you. But we talked about this exact truck as the one I was using in the example there on how the Ram 1500 kind of takes the cake right now because the Chevys have got a lot of problems. The Fords got more recalls and issues and stuff like that. And Ford still has there's a recall issue, but it's a little tighter game in the HD world. Okay, so here we got a beautiful 2500 Rebel right here, gorgeous truck. You also have the 2500 Power Wagon, which I cannot wait to find and review one, but there's still none around anywhere. And you have the Tradesman Power Wagon package, which I absolutely love, which would be the one I would buy if I was buying a Ram. But love the look of this. Okay, you got this, a brand new 2025 2500 Rebel. And here's another 2025 right here. This one's got the Cummins, the new Cummins diesel, the 6.7 in there with that modifications and, glow plugs now, no more grid heater and all the stuff that they've done to that. Made it very nice, a lot easier for filters. Sorry, I'm trying to block some of that glare for you, but they got some improvements there. So they got some things happening. Here's another one sitting right here. Another gorgeous one right here. So they're starting to pump them out, starting to kick these things out and get them out. This 3500, right? This is 25. No, this 2500 right there as well too. Another Cummins. So these are a great option. You also have the F150 or the F250, F350 combo, but we'll stick with the 3/4 ton, which would be the 2500 F250 and Chevy's version of the 2500. Now, in my opinion, this whole video is based on my opinion. Understand that. It's not biased. I do not own any one of these, but it is based on my opinion. When we look at it, we'll walk over here real quick, but when we look at a Ford Super Duty and we take a 250, it's got a lot of advantages. Now, Ford is in kind of a rough place right now. They've already got 40 recalls in the first quarter of this year. They are on par to be, again, #1 in recalls. And they are also in for like 5 straight years. Yes, Chrysler beat them last year by 3 recalls, but they are on par to be, again, the leader in recalls. And they are also, at the rate they're going, they're going to literally break 100 recalls in a year, which is going to be insane. So there's a couple of issues here that concern me when it comes to the quality of a Ford right now. Not that the trucks are made bad. I love them. Quality control is a concern for me, and recall issues, that is a concern for me. So that is kind of a hit on the Ford. However, that said, I do believe that the Ford 250 is by far one of my absolute favorite trucks, and it is a big beast. It is a beautiful big beast of a truck, and a Tremor is very affordable. Now in here, you get the option of the diesel in 2 different versions. You can get a 6.7 and you can get a 6.7 high output. Those are both diesels. You can also get the 6.8 and you can get a 7.3 in the gas versions of this. And that 7.3 and a 6.8 for that matter are 2 of my absolute favorite motors. Matter of fact, I like the 7.3 in this better than I like the 6.4 Hemi that is in the HD trucks, the Ram HDs. Don't get me wrong, that Ram HD truck gasser is a great motor. I like the 6.7 diesel in here better than I like the 6.7 diesel in here. I much prefer the Ram diesel, the Cummins diesel, than I do this diesel, but I prefer the 7.3 gasser in here than I do the 6.4 that is in that gasser. So there's these trade-offs. And then we also have the amazing, who I think wins by category here, but you have the twins, the GMC 2500 Sierra. It's the AT4. This is a perfect example. This is a perfect example because it's like a ZR2. So this truck right here, in my opinion, hands down, I didn't know this was sitting here. In my opinion, this is by far the sexiest HD truck made today, hands down. You got the AEV system on this. You get the AEV front bumper. This is the AT4X package. It's a beautiful layout. It's like a ZR2. This thing is gorgeous on every level. Everything about this truck is straight up just beautiful. Okay, I don't think there is a, I mean, look at the fronts of these. Okay, This is the same thing that they've been for 20 years for the most part. Not knocking it. I love the Super Duty, but this thing is by far the sexiest looking truck there is. Love the AEV front bumper on this thing. Love the hooks on here, the whole setup. Like I said, this thing is just a beast of a truck and very well done when you get the AEV version. I think the AEV version is the sexiest version, but this AT4X ZR2 also, like you're seeing here, is an incredible version. When you kick it into the AEV, it takes it to the next level as far as sexiest truck goes. It also starts getting very, very pricey. Also, here's a perfect example. Look at the hood. Look at the hood between these two. See that really stupid, crazy, high, tall hood versus slope down, simpler, shorter hood? Love the hood design. I'd rather drive this than this, but I do love this. I think it is the best looking truck. This is also the best riding HD. It's got a independent front suspension on it. It's going to be amazing, but we do not get any front lockers or anything that's going to be beneficial there in the front for off-road, where we can get a tremor here and we can gain that capability for off-road stuff. So everything is a trade-off. Everything is a pro and con. Like I said, in the HD world, it's a very tight race between all three. It really is a very tight race based on what you need. And there is no right or wrong answer to this. There is no one better than the other. There are just variations. But in my opinion, for my needs and what I want, massive, huge, and a lot of hood on there bugs me, but massive in size, sexiest truck made, in my opinion, in the HD world. But I do not care for the hood size too much, and I do not care for the sheer size of the truck. Super Duty, fantastic version, especially in the tremor where I get the torsion front diffs on there and I get that capability. Very simple to throw 37s on a stock tremor. You take a brand new stock Tremor 250, putting 37s on is just a tire change. Nothing to it. Super, super easy. I don't think you can fit 37s on a ZR2 or on any of the GMC or the Chevy versions. You don't get the option of putting 37s on without doing a pretty big lift, if I'm correct. I'm not 100% sure. I wouldn't buy it anyway for me because I am a huge fan of a solid front axle, and this is the only one that does not have a solid front axle. Ford does, Ram does, Chevy, GMC do not have solid front axles. However, makes this a much better driving experience on the road for people that do. So understand that. It's not a knock to that I don't want it because of that. But for me personally, that leaves me with a Ford F-250 Tremor version, in my opinion, which I think the F-250 is a fantastic truck. It is priced very well in a Tremor world with the amazing 7.3 gas. The cab space is massive and beautiful on every kind of level in this thing. The bed space is great. The depth of the bed is fantastic. The fact that you can put 37s on it, very easy. And it is a gorgeous, gorgeous truck on all kind of levels. Don't get me wrong. Couple things that do bother me. I do not like where the rear shocks are mounted inside so close to the pumpkin in there. I'm not a fan of that. It kind of bums me out with all the crap they got going on underneath of one. But it is what it is. It's still an incredible truck, and like I said, when you put 37s on it, it carries some weight. So like I said, I got a huge sweet spot for this truck. However, the downside to this truck for me too is it is massive. It is massive in size. It's huge. Now you have a better view and the hood is easier to see out of, and you get a better setup like that when you're driving it, but it is still a beast of a truck. Massive in size. And for many, that's a good thing. For me, that's one of those things that kind of weigh on my shoulders, which, because of these reasons, we take into account, like I said, Ford, best motor, in my opinion, in a gas version motor. I love the Chevys too. They're 6.6 twins, the diesel and the gas, phenomenal. But they've had some problems with their transmissions, things like that. Ford has had some issues with the trans. Ford has had some issues with the 7.3. Ford has some quality control issues. These are things that kind of weigh on your shoulders. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that anything today is a crapshoot of reliability. You might get a perfect one. You might get a lemon. You might get one that goes for 400,000 miles without a problem. You might get one that goes for 400 miles and completely blows up. That's the world we live in with all brands. So it's a wash there on the motors. But my personal opinion, if I had to rank HD gas engines, it would go Ford 7.3, 6.8 combo. They're about the same thing, but it would go Ford, and then it would go to the Ram 6.4 Hemi, and then it would go to the 6.6. And again, just personal opinion. Not that one is better than the other, just my personal opinion. In a diesel world, it would go with the Ram 6.7 to the Ford 6.7 to the 6.6 over there too. And again, not that I'm knocking the Chevy or the GMC, just a personal preference based on my driving experience with them and what I do and don't like. So that kind of puts the Ford, for me, beats the Chevy. Beats the Chevy out of there, and the Chevy's a great option. But for me, the Ford wins, even though I still think that the Chevys and the GMCs in a AT4X ZR2 AEV edition, sexiest HD made. With that said, brings us back over to the Rams. So for me, personally, my opinion, the Ram wins. And why does it win? Well, it wins because of a couple of things. One is the fact that it is the smallest HD of all of them. Yet, if you want it and you love Ram and you want it to be bigger, you can still get it bigger. What do you mean you can get it bigger? Well, Ram has a trick up their sleeve that they do, and they've done forever, and it's a beautiful thing. So here we go. Here's that Ram Rebel 2500. Look at a cab. Okay, see this cab setup on here? See this distance right here? See this piece right here? Okay, this is your standard, crew cab version. Now, if you want to, you can get a Ram, what they call a mega cab. And this is a beautiful thing. Now, Ram, right here, has a mega cab. And it gives you this extra almost foot of space back there. Look at that. That is a Ram mega cab. Look at how much more space you have right here. That gives you so much more room on the inside like that, too, is a beautiful thing. Yet it still keeps the truck a little bit smaller. Yeah, you gain a little bit more distance, but it's still a small package. And I like the smaller HD package. I like that the Ram is a little bit smaller all the way around, and it's just gonna fit into places better. I am super bummed that Ram still is on this kick where they are doing stupid little baby tires on these things, and 33-inch tires. Should be a minimum of 35s in the fenders and the bumpers. See, this is your problem right here. This is a problem, and this is a problem right here, okay? Those are problems. These need to be fixed so that not only can it go to 35s, which is exactly what I would put on it, but we can fit 37s. But you can't do a 37 without cutting all that crap out, and that pisses me off. So like I said, there is no perfect truck. But if I had to choose, for me, it would definitely be a Ram. It would be a Ram HD truck. It would not be a Rebel. It would be a Power Wagon. Actually, for me, it would be a tradesman version of a 2500 with a Power Wagon package. And once I got that Power Wagon package, I would probably lose a bumper and put on a AEV or something else for a bumper on it so that I can get rid of this, and so that I can actually go to a 37 on there without doing a whole lot of work. I would probably have 37s on it, but even at 35s, I would be okay. 35s would even be all right on there, and I would tolerate it. But in an HD world, the smaller size and the fact that I can get front true lockers, the only HD that offers a true front and rear locker, and this is the only HD that offers a sway bar disconnect for the full articulation in the front, and it also offers a solid front axle, which so does Ford, but this one being a solid front axle. For me, this truck would be my number one. But as you see in this video, every single one of these HD trucks has massive pros. A few cons, but massive pros. It is a very tough call and a very tough decision, and there is no right or wrong answer. All I can do is show you why things matter to me and where I would put my money and why. All of them offer tremendous price deals. You can get them for excellent prices. You can get a Ford F-250 Tremor for a steal. You can get an XL or XLT for a great price as well too. You can get a 2500 Tradesman for a great price. You can get a 2500 Tradesman Power Wagon package for a great price. You can even get a very good deal on a Power Wagon unit itself, or these Rebels. What's this Rebel going for? This is a gas version of a Rebel. Okay, Rebels are not cheap. Okay, it's a 2500 Rebel. Beautiful truck. What's it going for? I bet it's got to be 70 grand only. What are we at? 72.5, 72.4. Okay, that's not a bad price for a HD truck like this that we're seeing. That looks like leather in here too. Am I seeing? I am. Full leather in this too. 72,000 bucks. Okay, you can't argue with that. Like I said, every one of them have some pretty decent truck prices in today's world, in an HD world. But that would be my pick. My pick would be the Ram for what I want and I need because of that smaller size, front lockers, and the off-road capability. Kind of where I'm sitting at, but hopefully this video helps you make the decision for you on what the best HD is going to be for you. Questions, comments, anything you got, put them down below. As always, thanks for watching.